With Man City running away with the title and a genuine risk of dropping out of the top four, Liverpool's current season is taking the gloss off last year's league-winning campaign. Heralded at the time as the beginning of a period of dominance, the long-awaited triumph was followed up with a summer of smart recruitment, which saw the Reds bring in much-needed support for Andy Robertson in the form of Kostas Tsimikas, an outstanding rotation forward in Diogo Jota, and a versatile world-class midfielder in Thiago, fresh from winning a treble at Bayern Munich. However, it hasn't all gone to plan, as Liverpool's travails, including a run of 4 consecutive home defeats, the first such spell since 1923, have naturally started the search for a scapegoat, and the Spaniard's pedigree and leadership role in midfield with Henderson and Fabinho in defence have put him first in the firing line. But has the former Barcelona man really been the problem? What else has contributed to Liverpool's slide, and what will it take for them to get back to their best? We decided to put Thiago and his teammates under the microscope to find out. To be fair to Thiago's critics, a glance at the stats does not yield positive results for the 29-year-old. At the time of writing, Liverpool have averaged just 1.2 points a game with him in the lineup compared to 2.2 without him. And in the time he's been on the pitch, up to game week 26, the team has scored 14 and conceded 13. Having lost just 1 game out of 13 without him, though that was the 7-2 humiliation at the hands of Villa, Liverpool have lost a horrifying 6 out of 13 with him. And after nearly 6 months at Anfield, he's tasted league victory only 4 times, a truly shocking record. However, if stats can be used to criticise the veteran, they can also be used to defend him. Thiago's time on the field has coincided with a massive finishing slump from his team, with Liverpool netting those 14 goals from 22 XG while allowing the expected 13 in his minutes. That has turned what should have been a +9 goal difference with Alcantara into a +1 difference, and it seems unfair to blame him for his team's wastefulness in front of goal. Those numbers look even better when turned into per 90 stats too, with a positive XG difference of 0.6 for every 90 minutes Thiago plays, better than Alexander-Arnold, Salah, Firmino and Henderson, suggesting that the Reds' poor record with their new midfielder is nothing more than a blip, and will probably change soon. Despite playing a little over 40% of the minutes, Thiago has only been present for 38% of the goals Liverpool have allowed, and this is all without taking into account the total destabilisation of the side by injuries this campaign. Football 365 published a study back in January in which they tallied every Premier League team's fitness woes this season by adding up the number of games missed due to injury among each squad. Liverpool, unsurprisingly, were the worst off, seeing prolonged absences for Van Dijk, Gomez and Thiago himself, and given the good health the team has enjoyed over the last 2 seasons, the effect of those problems has been starker still. Long story short, the team is fine, Thiago makes it better, and before the end of 2020-21, we'd expect to see performances change the narrative. But what exactly is Thiago doing on an individual level? The first answer to that question is defence. Lots and lots of it. Only Man City and Arsenal make fewer tackles and interceptions per 90 than Liverpool this season, but Thiago still rates as one of the 25 most active defenders in the league, with his 4.3 defensive actions a game the same as highly rated DMs like Declan Rice, Yves Bissouma and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Thiago is top of the Liverpool squad for both tackles and interceptions by some way, with only Fabinho and Curtis Jones winning possession over 3 times a game this season, and though that figure of 4.3 is a shade under the number Fabinho managed in 2019-20, Liverpool are having more possession this season than they did last, meaning that Thiago comes out slightly ahead of his teammate overall, and suggesting that any defensive issues this term are not down to a new frailty in midfield. Though at times criticised for a lack of speed, Thiago's speed of thought makes up for any physical limitations, topping the squad for ball recoveries each match. And actually, the stats suggest that it's the loss of Gomez and Van Dijk which has made the team more porous, with the 15.7 and 13.3 loose balls they respectively mopped up in 2019-20 more than anyone not named Thiago this term. Who would have thought losing the best centre-half in the world and one of England's most impressive defensive prospects would hurt the team? Sarcasm aside, Thiago has also adapted quickly to Klopp's style, thanks to his time in German football and under Pep Guardiola. Aggressive and hard-working when his side loses possession, he ranks first at Anfield for pressures per 90 minutes, closing down opponents more often in the middle and final thirds than anyone else. And when he gets on the ball, he truly comes to life. In the rush to figure out a reason for any team's decline, evidence is the first casualty, and Liverpool are no different. Pundits and fans, convinced that the change of personnel must be the problem, then try to find justification for that belief, rather than honestly assessing whether they're right or wrong. and that process has led many to the outlandish claim that Thiago slows the side down, turning Klopp's previous heavy metal football into a stately classical waltz. It's enticing, but it's not really true. Of course, Thiago is a ball magnet, but that doesn't mean that he's simply drifting around, keeping possession for possession's sake, or taking too many touches instead of looking to move the team upfield. If we compare his time with the ball to Henderson's last year, when the Englishman was the hub of Liverpool's possession game, we can see that of Thiago's touches this season, 84% have been pass attempts, compared to 85% for Henderson in 2019-20. So no real difference there. And when we look at the touches which yield successful progressive passes, the Spaniard comes out on top, with 10% of his 105 touches a game passes which move the ball 15 yards or more towards the opposition goal, compared to 8% for Henderson when he played as a 6. In fact, across Europe's top 5 leagues this season, Thiago is 7th for passes into the final third and 3rd for progressive passes on 9.4 each game, behind only Joshua Kimmich and Borussia Dortmund's Rafael Guerreiro. To understand just how incisive that makes him, you only have to look at the guy in 4th spot, a man named Leo Messi. So Thiago gets on the ball more than Henderson did last season, but he doesn't hold on to it longer than the Englishman, and his passing does more to move the team into the areas of the pitch that matter. And when you factor in Thiago's superior dribbling, with 1.5 take-ons a game to Henderson's 0.7, it becomes even clearer that Liverpool's apparent toothlessness is not down to the Spaniard dallying in possession. A topsy-turvy season on Merseyside was always going to provoke some soul-searching among the Anfield faithful, and it's a testament to the high standards set by Klopp's outfit over the last 2 years that one of the best midfielders in the world can join the side and have his performances questioned. Using the stats and the eye test, it certainly seems to us that Thiago's current woes will soon pass. But while we've tried to mount a defence of the player here, it's clear that he's still adapting to the red setup. With Jorginho Wijnaldum out of contract in the summer, as well as Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita struggling for fitness, Klopp has the opportunity to recalibrate his midfield, and it remains to be seen whether he intends Thiago to partner Fabinho in a double pivot, to have a central role in the final third, or to stitch defence and attack together in a 3-man midfield going forward. A question complicated further by the emergence of Curtis Jones as a versatile role player with an exceptional passing range. However, the reintroduction of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez should solidify Liverpool and allow Thiago to shine in a team once again living up to its potential. And if he and the rest of the side can recapture their best form, don't bet against the club wrestling back their Premier League crown in 2022. So that's why we think the pundits are wrong about Thiago, but what do you think of the player and his first season in English football? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop us a like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to never miss a video. We'll see you next time.